Okay, hello, this is Buono. Today I'd like to talk about necessary hardware items. If you're electrics beginner, you may think you are thinking, so which items should I buy? Should I purchase? Of course, there are many options to start electronics, so maybe you are confusing. So that's why I'm determined to make this kind of video. Anyway, so please watch this movie until the end. Okay, let me try to explain. So in the past video, I explained electrics flow is like this. Input and calculation and output, and then you achieved something you'd like to get. Please imagine this. Please remember this this image. Okay. So my first three, needless to say, these items are needed to compose such flow. Firstly, input devices needed, like a sensor. The typical case is a sensor. And by using sensor, we can obtain the real world physical data. And then, so in the calculation step, you need a microcontroller board like Arduino and Raspberry Pi and so on, and to calculate something to calculate the data from input to sensor, like ultrasonic sensor. This is just an example. Okay, then and after calculating in microcontroller board, we have to output something by using output devices, and for example move or some sound and write or some other devices. And this is an example of a motor to move something. Okay, and these are in output. Typically, these four kinds are existing. Okay, so these are necessary items, and sensor, microcontroller board, and these devices. Okay, and unfortunately, so you need more things other than these devices, these things. Firstly, so I put additional points in this flow. So I added base and tools and equipment and miscellaneous. So in addition to these three components, you need these four additional components or devices. Okay, let me explain one by one in briefly. Firstly, composition items. It means base items. This can be a base to make flows. So composition items it's like a battery or resistor and wire. You need, of course, needless to say, so battery, some power supply is needed, like a battery to work, to make the electric circuit work. and the resistor and wire is also needed to make a circuit, electric circuit. And sometimes resistor is needed to so how should I say to resist or to save the electrical flow, to prevent the electric components damage or something. And of course, the electrical circuit can be must be a one loop, and so to make a loop, wire is needed to connect the electric components to each other. Okay, and then next tools are needed, and so breadboard and tweeters, or sometimes soldering are needed. And so you may know breadboard, what breadboard is. As you can see here, breadboards, we use it by putting electrical components and ICs and wires here. It's a substitute of wires or substitution of wires. It's very useful items. I think this is necessary in the first step. And tweeters are also needed because to build this circuit in breadboard, you can imagine by watching this, by seeing this. There are very small and complicated circuits. So when you put something here, or when you modify or change the circuit or the price where the parts are. It's by your hand. It's very difficult to do it. But tweeters can make it very easy. So I recommend you to buy it. And so, I don't think it's. I think so. So very high expensive tweeters is not needed. Very cheap one is enough to do it. Okay. And soldering. So sometimes soldering is needed to make if you want to make very solid and how should I explain? It's difficult. Anyway, first in the first step, you don't need this one, because we can have breadboard and we can build it very easily on this board. So soldering is needed in the second step after making this circuit on this breadboard. Okay. Because soldering feature, the most feature of soldering is fixing something. Okay. I'm not sure, so I could explain. that point. Okay. I will explain at that point very in detail. And the next equipments are necessary. So tester is the typical items of equipment. Tester can measure the electric cycle, can measure the voltage and the current flow and the resistance of resistor and each electric circuit component. So it's very useful. I think that it's even if you are a beginner, you should have this one, because sometimes we face trouble that the electric circuit can't work well. When you encounter this situation, this tester is a very good one to study, to inspect which point is not working. Okay, and so in that sense, oscilloscope is more useful to study in more detail the electric circuit, but it's very expensive, more expensive than tester, and more complicated and more difficult to use. So I think that in the second step or third step, you have to wait. You have to wait until you graduate the electrics beginner. Okay. And finally, so miscellaneous, you must have PC and USB cable. And these are used to implement your code, written PC to microcontroller board. So mainly for the most microcontroller board. So in the typical case, we write programming related code in your laptop PC, or of course desktop PC is also can be worked. And so after writing code, you have to transport that code to microcontroller board by by using something. I'll explain that point in the next video. We use PC in the PC. We use IDE software in the PC. After writing code, we use IDE and transport by using IDE function and USB and through USB cable, and then finally that code is implemented to microcontroller board. Okay, let me go to summary. So I explained the necessary hardware items, and I load the lists, five lists here: input, calculation, output, components. These are the main components. So of course you have to prepare these components. And in addition to that, these four items are also needed. Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. On this channel, I post videos that explain the essential knowledge and tools that electronics beginners should acquire. You can learn these basics from scratch. If you're just starting with electronics projects, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I also welcome your comment on the good button on this video. Wishing you a wonderful experience with your electronics projects.